Uh, uh, uh. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Welcome to a new episode of We Have Some Notes. I am your host, Chantel Chavon. I am so sorry, y'all. I miss you. I miss you. I'm sorry. I should not have left you without a beat to step to. You know what I'm saying? I just should not have been playing on y'all time like that. How have y'all been? How's everything going? It's been a lot, right? It's been a lot. Me personally, I needed a little bit of a stress nap. Yeah, let me make sure I have, because earlier I was recording and the mic wasn't picking up my sound good. But yes, listen, I needed a stress nap. Okay, I'm raising fur babies. I'm married to a Gemini. I'm raising my parents. I needed to rest. Okay, but I'm back like I never left. I've got a really fun show that I planned out. It was one of the reasons why I was looking forward to coming back and talking to y'all, because I was like, listen, we have some things to talk about. So on today's show, we're going to talk about everybody in these messy breakups. We got Sidora and Ralph Pittman and they messy divorce. He trying to kick her up out the house, make her pay half the bills. He make 4 times. Ralph, y'all hiring? Where you getting this money from? Lori Harvey and Damson Idris, they reportedly allegedly broke up. Okay. Lori says she's suing everybody. What she's suing them for, we don't know. All right. Meg the Stallion and Klay Thompson. We're gonna talk about Klay's raggedy PBS logo looking self right here. Brought to you by viewers like you. We will be getting into that. Nicki Minaj and her husband getting divorced. Now, I'm not even gonna hold you. That is none of my foundational Black American woman business. Whatever Nicki Minaj got going on in her life and her household is absolutely none of my business. And I'm not even gonna spend too much time on that, but we will chat about that a little bit. The White House was down real bad. They had a little murder mystery drama club event. I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at that. So we will be talking about, the high school level drama club theatrics that we got at the White House Correspondents Dinner. A lot more. I'm going to get right into it because it's a lot. And you know how we like to kick things off around here with a little game, a little trivia game that I like to call Somebody Said. Y'all ready? Y'all not even ready. See, you wasn't on your P's and Q's. Okay, hold on. And I'm over here pressing buttons. Let me see. There we go. Let's get into our Somebody Said. All right. This is a trivia game that I made up one day from my imagination. Okay. Y'all know I like to do only child activities. So this is Somebody Said. I'm gonna give you a quote. It can be a direct quote. It can be a song lyric. It can be an indirect quote. It can be something that in my Delulu mind, this is what I had imagined that somebody would have said at some moment. Okay? And you're going to guess in my mind telepathically who you think I'm talking to. Without delay, let's get right into it. Somebody said, here's your first clue. Somebody said, we got McDonald's at home. I know that's right. We got McDonald's at the house. Who said that? No, that's not who said it. It was Simone Biles. Listen, Simone Biles recently said the realest thing to have ever been said, which was it costs her a little bit too much money to be playing with y'all outside, and so she's staying at her house. And I don't understand what's confusion about that. Okay, plain and simple. Let me go over here. I'm going to share my screen so that y'all can see. This is straight from her mouth. What Simone Biles had to say about every time she go outside, it costs a little bit too much. The realest, I'm the only lady, I'm the realest in the room. That's how I felt when she said I wasn't mad at all. Okay, let's listen to her. Turn on the sound.
We need to have a discussion. If you're a celebrity, an athlete, influencer, these questions are for you. If not, you can keep scrolling or you can listen. Doesn't really matter. But I just need to know if this is normal. Okay? Because I know going outside is expensive as fuck these days.
And it is.
But like, is it this expensive? Okay. So I just recently had a red carpet event with the stylist fee, hair and makeup team. My grand total, any guesses? I'll wait. Probably higher than what you're thinking. Keep going. Yeah, $22,000.
Absolutely not.
Actually, 23.
Absolutely not.
I just want to know. What is that? Oh, just went. I just want to know. Is that fucking normal? But baby, if that's normal, and I get inflation, like I get prices these days have gone up. But if that's the new norm, y'all can have it. Y'all will never see me at another event.
I know that's right.
My ass right here, where it's free.
I know that's right. Listen, what's understood don't need to be said. Everybody is going through it right now. Okay? Everybody is going through it. She spent $23,000 to be styled for an event. Matter of fact, let me see if I can real quick. Do I have the clips so you guys can see her look? I mean, she looks beautiful, but the moral of the story is yesterday's price is not today's price. And who you think got it like that ain't really got it like that. Okay? Here, let me show you the look. This is the look. She's got this beautiful feathery situation. Her hair is pent up, smoothed out, skin is glowing. She looks gorgeous. Now let me kind of break this down to you, because she said in a comment on her TikTok that she was expecting to spend closer to probably like, I don't know, I think it was around the $6,000 to $9,000 range, because she did not fly these stylists out. They were not with her the whole time, so she wasn't, being charged for flight or accommodations, which would be could be easily explained as being a large contributor to that $23,000 price tag, but that wasn't the case. And furthermore, she didn't keep the dress. So it's a lot of misinformed people. The dress by itself costs $12,000. Let me tell you something. If she didn't get to keep the dress and she spent $23,000 US, I'm on my Denzel. I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. That's crazy. I agree with Simone. Everybody needs to be staying in the house and being a little bit more frugal, because between the tariffs and everybody losing their jobs left and right, ain't got it. All right, let's move on. Y'all didn't, I know y'all didn't get that one, but you're gonna get this one because I believe in you. You ready? Cool. Somebody said he got gay again. off the island. Who said that? Who said that? Who? Who you say? That's not right. This was my niecey Pooh, Northwest. Okay, Northwest. I believe North ain't number 12 years old. All right, this baby is in her emo era. Okay, she's got icy blue hair, dark makeup, eyeshadow, dark nails a lot of the times, in her goth mode, very anime coded. Okay, and she says that a lot of people are assuming that she is, over there being demonic, whatnot, and what have you. Y'all know how y'all do. Very judgy, very, very judgy. And she let it be known, point blank, period. Absolutely not. Okay. I love Jesus, she said. That's my Lord and Savior. People think I'm dark, but I'm really not. Period, niece. Period. I love what she's got going on. I think she's got a lane to herself. She's not looking too grown. And I think she's just having fun, and she's also a musical artist. She got an album coming out, or an album that just dropped, and she's making a beat. So TT is proud of you, Northy Pooh. And you keep Jesus Jerome close to your spirit. All right, let's move on. What do we have next? Y'all gonna get this one. I believe you. I know you got it. Here's the clue. Somebody said, it's upsetting me and my homegirls. Who said that? It's upsetting me and my homegirl. You were close. I see where you were going with it, and you were very close. This was actually Erica Kirk. Baby, come to the front. Why are you dressed like Janet Jackson? Why are you giving us 4, 3, 2, 1 control? Why is that? Why is that the moment? Why is this happening? Okay. Erica Kirk went on the Turning Point podcast recently. Very upset, giving us her best. If you can't go to Bella Noches, where can you go? Okay. Dressed in all black like the Omen. Absolutely. She wanted to let everybody know, listen, keep my name out your MF mouth. I got people telling me I'm not good at my job. I shouldn't be CEO. I got that black lady over there that was in love with my husband, and my husband probably was in love with her, telling me that I killed my husband, and I'm over y'all ish. Serena Joy is tired, but I want y'all to listen to this because she sounds deranged. If you start hearing some heavy breathing, it's not me. It's your girl, Erica. Look, do you hear this? Let me see if I can share the screen. It's giving Holocaust. You know what I mean? It was never here. I'm gonna make it bigger. Does it ain't? Girl, if you don't get your juicy head ass up out of there with all this heavy breathing, do they not provide the white women with Valium anymore? They don't got no Valium. What will possess her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 hit ass to come on to our screens doing all this heavy breath work? Was the Pilates class filled up? What's going on, Erica Kirk? Huh? Let's move on. Next clue. Are you ready? Perfect. Somebody said, hold on, let me make this bigger for y'all. The door is closed. Who said that? The door is closed. No, it wasn't Nene this time. It wasn't Nene this time. It was Spirit Airlines. Okay. Pour some out for the homie Spirit Airlines. Spirit Airlines is closed for business. It's gone to the upper room. Okay. It ain't got their wings no more. Do you hear me? Like a thief in the night. They didn't close down Spirit Airlines, who was trying to get, the airlines are always getting bailed out. They thought they was about to get them a $500 million bailout. There have been discussions. They've been in business for 34 years. 17,000 employees are now unemployed. And we love the U.S. job economy. Many of those people could not pass the paper bag test like you and I. You know what I mean? So it all feels very scheme that Todd set up. Furthermore, what pissed me off about this is, why is me and Sukiyana the only ones that's putting two and two together about how they rolled this out? Because people were literally on the way to their flights, getting to the airport, and then finding out that the door is closed. Okay? Circus City. All right? Bennigan's. Okay? Gone. Montgomery Ward. All right? Sears. Just gone. And they didn't do a common sense Forever 21 type of close down over time, announce discounted tickets, start shutting down different flights to different places, slowly letting people go. No. You got people at the airport stuck, knowing good and well Americans don't got no emergency funds, especially not the ones that was traveling on Spirit Airlines in the first place. To be getting at the airport, babies on their hip, maybe wrestling around with respectfully their parents that they raising. I see you. I am you. And now they can't get on their flight. And they not repaid you the ticket. So some customer service is closed. If you're looking for a refund, we set up a number for you. Good luck with that. What? Listen, you can't make up this dystopian. This is every sci-fi book I've ever read is now coming to fruition on my time. Let's move on. Somebody said, my man is your man. And your man is my man. My man is your man. Your man is my man. Who said that? It was not, I know SZA has said it, but that's not who I was talking about. Who I was talking about this time was Hailey Bieber and Billie Eilish. Hailey Bieber and Billie Eilish recently attended Hailey Bieber's husband, Justin Bieber's Coachella set. Okay. And while they were there, we found out whole time Billie Eilish was a believer. I know that's right. So they're up there enjoying the set. I think, let me pull up some of the, let's see if I can pull up the clip. But I think Justin was on stage singing One Last Lonely Girl. I am not a believer, but I have partaken in some of his music. I remember One Last Lonely Girl. So they're up on stage, or Justin's up on stage, and Billy is hugged up next to his wife Hailey, and Hailey is encouraging her So going up on that stage with him and get your life. I love this. I think this is so cute. As you can see, Justin hugs her. Billy runs off the stage. She's crying. Has made her day. Okay. It may have made the next 10 years of her life. And I just think that's the cutest thing. And I really, really respect the wives of the famous men who are heartbeats to be so sharing to us, the Lulu fans. Do you know what I mean? And I know that Sabrina Elba is like this with her husband Idris, because she understands the fans are the Lulu and our sister wife thinking, you know. So she just freely shares him with us, not a problem. And I will hope, for my own sake, for research purposes, somebody can let me know if it's true or not, that Morris Chestnut's wife will be the same way. Because otherwise it would get awkward. The thoughts that I have about her husband. It get a little awkward. Let's move on. You got one more chance. All you ever need to do is win one time in life. Are y'all ready? I know you got this. I know you got this last clue. Let's get it. Okay. Somebody said, do it look like I got left off of Bad and Bougie? Do it look like I got left off Bad and Bougie? If your answer is all of the women's, correct. Correct. The gang's all here. Every woman who has ever dated, lived with, married, roomed with, cooked for, did homework for, has been cheated on. Correct. The gang is all here. Who we got on here? I ran out of room. Gabrielle Union, Beyonce, Khloe Kardashian, Chloe Bailey, Halle Bailey, Lori Harvey. We'll get into that later. Cardi B, we talked about that before. Taylor Swift, she'd have made a song about it. Tiana Taylor, Kim Kardashian, Halle Berry, and Meg Thee Stallion now. And we're going to get into that story a little bit later too. If you haven't noticed, men that may partake in this podcast, this show, tonight's episode will not be in celebration of you at all. You're more than welcome to stay, but no plates will be made. Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, let's get into the show today, guys. Let's see. You know, I'm trying to find my buttons. First things first, I'm super duper excited about talking to you guys about the new music note. We've got new music dropping from Kehlani, and it was so good. Album is so good. Hold on. She just dropped her self-titled album, and it's got everybody on it, child. I'm about to pull up the track list so that y'all, I'm gassy. Excuse me if you hear me belching, just, you know, act like you know. Don't be stuck up. Just it'll be all right. So, okay, this is new music from Kehlani. Who do we have on? Oh, I'm not sharing. Hold on a second. If you are watching me on YouTube, you can watch along. Okay, so Kehlani has new music, and who's on the album? Everybody and their mama. Everybody and their album. Listen. Kehlani is deeply loved in the industry, clearly. She's got features from Lil Wayne, Clips, my girl Brandy is on the album, Missy Elliott, Usher, T-Pain and Lil Jon, Cardi B, Big Sean and Leon Thomas. The album is stacked. It's not even fair. It's not even fair, Kaylani. It's not even fair. Furthermore, does this get bigger? No. Furthermore, I have had the song Still on repeat. That is my song. The whole album is very, very brandy coated. It is. It's very 90s R&B, nostalgia, early 2000s R&B. So if that's like, you know, your era that resonates with you, you will love listening to this Kehlani album. What other songs are on there that I really like? Ooh, of course, Folded. But what happens is, so I listened to the whole album. I really enjoyed it. And then I went back to Still. And so Still has just kind of been on repeats. That's my song. And I like Ooh a lot. So yeah, that's what we got this week for music notes. Let's move on. Let's talk about some movies. And it just so happens that the movie that I want to talk about is dealing with music. This is none other than Michael. Okay? I went to see the Michael movie. I'm gonna tell you all about it. I've got some notes. I've got a few notes on the Michael movie because it was just for anybody that you know listen to the show, want to hear unsolicited feedback. I've got plenty. But first, let's talk about Michael. Let me pull up the trailer so you guys can kind of see it playing in the background. All right, so new Michael Jackson movie. I went to see it at the theaters. I went with my parents, and I was super excited. If you know me, you know I don't play around with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson been my husband, been my first love, my truest love, and I don't really too much play about Michael Joseph Jackson when it comes to a lot of things. So I was super excited to see this movie, to go to theaters and experience this movie. Of course, everybody was in there dressed up and ready to sing along, and I thought we was gonna have a good old time. Okay, and we did have a good time. It is starring Jafar Jackson, which is his nephew. It also stars Neil Long. What is his name? Coleman Domingo. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. It was directed by Antoine Fuqua, and you know, hey, we were off to a good start. It had all the makings of all the things that we needed to make this movie good. Now, what ended up happening was a different story. Because the movie just didn't unfold to me in the best way to tell like a really epic type of story. But let's just talk about, first off, good news, what it did at the box office, because you already know that it was going to smash records. It's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Joseph Jackson. Opened with, this is the Hollywood Reporter, Michael opened with $97 million in US. So domestically, it opened with $97 million, and then it opened with $219 million globally. I still think, though, I'm pretty sure when they reported this, that it has not been released in, I think maybe Japan or something I read, which is just going to take it over the edge. It's going to be one of the most successful biopics ever released. It's already scored the top launch ever for a biopic domestically. It passed up Oppenheimer, as well as the best global opening for a music biopic. But, you know, hey, everybody is not touching agreeing with the story. I'm one of those people. Okay, so for me personally, was never even worried about what was about to happen at the box office, because it's Michael Joseph Jackson. He ain't never been the one or the two. Huh? He's something higher than that. Okay. This is where it for me, all the drama surrounding it. So we know that this production had a lot of legal issues. There were a lot of things planned for the movie that it was reported that has to be cut at the last minute. This is the Hollywood Reporter. They're talking about how the director and producer had to get paid millions more after reshoots to cut out the abuse allegations from the film. They had to actually film 22 additional days for reshoots to kind of reshape the third act. For those of y'all that don't know nothing about the movies, the third act, the end, the conclusion of a movie is usually only about 20 minutes of the story. 20, 30 minutes, the most, depending on the runtime. So 30 minutes is long, but the last 15, 20 minutes, they had to kind of rework the story because there was a settlement, a legal settlement in place by the estate that said that accuser that they were going to kind of weave into the story, you couldn't depict that person on screen at all whatsoever, right? I also heard about some other stuff happening behind the scenes, including Janet Jackson said, "Don't put me nowhere in there, bruh. bruh, don't put me respectfully, disrespectfully. Don't even mention my name in this movie." And they didn't. Okay. So in addition to the reshoots, let's see, they had to pay an additional $10 million to, who is this? Somebody's name is Graham King, the producer. And then they had to pay Antoine Fuqua an extra $15 million to complete the reshoots. All right. I think even in hearing that, it still just makes me feel like I question what the North Star of the movie was. Because there's just so much missing from this movie as a biopic. It's just not hitting. It's just not hitting for me. Okay, so this is what I would say were some really great things about this movie. Namely Michael Jackson's nephew, Jafar, and his portrayal of his uncle. There were plenty scenes where it felt indistinguishable between him and Michael, like the real life footage versus him, playing his uncle. The dancing is crazy. He's captured his mannerisms. He's captured a lot of his essence. So just as an actor, he did a phenomenal job playing his uncle. And for that alone, he deserves to be nominated across the board come award season. Other standouts, beautiful gowns. The costuming, detailed, very detailed. The makeup, special effects makeup, hair. So it was a very pretty movie. With that being said, where we fell short at, to me personally, and I'm gonna take out my notes. It just, you know, it didn't touch the Jacksons and American Dream. I can tell you that right now. Ain't come nowhere near touching the grit and heart of that story, and really, really making sure the audience understood that this was a rags to riches kind of story that was unlike anything you've ever heard of, especially in Black American history, but definitely Black American history. Michael came from nothing, and he came from horrible abuse from his dad. And he became super powerful in the entertainment industry all around the world. He just became the biggest thing since fire sparked. That did not transcend on the film. Like, I don't think that new audiences and maybe new fans, the people, younger kids, will understand how omnipresent Michael Jackson, the pandemonium behind Michael Jackson, was throughout his career. It's unmatched. It is unheard of. Like, they kind of portrayed it like he was some regular type of celebrity. It wasn't that type of situation. This was not a Chris Brown, Usher, Beyonce concert, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift type of situation. You ain't never seen nothing like this in your whole ass life. And that was not conveyed. They also just did not get, it was such a perfect opportunity, especially since they just were more focusing on his road to solo stardom. So it was so much conflict that they, I'm sure purposely, because the family probably made it very difficult to tell the story that really needed to be told. It was just very surface level, superficial, branded type of brand movie type of storytelling. And for that, we could have watched Moonwalker. If I'm being honest, that had a better story, to be honest. So my notes for Michael, and hey, maybe there'll be another movie. I'm mad they won't get Jafar, but that doesn't mean there'll not be another kid that could capture this essence. Okay, but here are some moments that I personally would like to see in this film that would have added something more interesting, something other than it was like one big long music video, a concert video, if you will, concert movie, if you will. I would have loved to see Michael getting interviewed by Oprah and not letting her ask him any questions and sitting there beatboxing in her face. I would like to see it. Another note, I would have liked to see Michael telling Latoya, your voice is so irritating. Since she was the only sister depicted in the film. No Rebe, no Janet, just Latoya. So have him in there tell her voice was irritating to him. And then I would love to know how these kids came about. Prince, Blanket, Paris. They old enough to be okay with us knowing what really specifically was the process for which, genetically speaking, these kids came about. But even, hey, if that was too much, that was too personal, I would have liked to see him dangle that little baby over the balcony. That would have been entertaining. Okay. That would have had, you know, us in the crowd going, whoo, you know. The Wiz. I heard there was a lot of chaos around that movie. I would love to see it. And I think you should have been able to do that without, if you needed to do that without showing the Diana character, which was crazy because they had to cut that out, and Kat Graham had filmed, you know, some scenes. But I think even just still mentioning, you know, I'm doing this, or him making a song, you can win, because he didn't have to, you can't get in, can't get out of the, he didn't have to eat the girls up like that on that song, but he did. I would have liked to see him. Okay. They showed Bubbles. I would have liked to see Bubbles throwing him down the stairs or wherever he threw him at, because reportedly, that's why Michael had a whole bunch of extra back pain or physical pain and needed to take, you know, so much more medication that he didn't want to take on top of the pain medication that was needed for him catching on fire for the Pepsi commercial. By the way, I still got a Bubbles stuffed animal, because when I was a kid, there was Bubbles merchandise, and there was like a little Bubbles book, the Bubbles the stuffed animal, and like a Bubbles cassette, and you'll put the cassette in the radio cassette player, and here to read you this book. I don't got the book no more, but I still got, or the tape, but I got Bubbles a stuffed animal somewhere. Okay, what else? Let me go to my notes. I would have liked 1 or 2 scenes with Prince. 1 or 2 scenes with them interacting and having some competitive energy, or maybe like that phone call when he called him up and asked him to be in Beat It, and Prince being like, who you talking to? Whose butt is yours? Can't do it. Won't be me. That would have been fun. It was just like all these little fun stuff that they didn't have in the movie. Okay, let's even go back. I would have liked to see, because they focus a lot on them being kids and being in the Jackson 5. So I would have liked for them to show us that they had a variety show. I don't even think, you know, they had colored people on TV back then, especially not they on variety show. I would have liked to see how that came about and how people responded to that and how they reacted to that. I would have liked them to talk about them having a Jackson 5 cartoon. Again, not too many people was having their own cartoons or still got their own cartoons today. Like, really ingrained the magnitude of what they were doing and how groundbreaking it was to get them in everybody's households. Like the merchandising, how were they even able to keep their money? Like, who was really advocating for them to have these deals, because so many other Black artists went broke. Jermaine doing that body roll for about 7 to 8 minutes. Would have liked to see that in the movie. A pure comedy. Would have loved to see that. We're not gonna talk about them doing the Moonwalker movie. I feel like they should have played the Moonwalker movie as a special presentation before Michael, and that it should have been mentioned in the movie. And or I feel like they should have did a special release of Moonwalker, so they would have went back to theaters. What else I got? Tabloids bullying him. They just act like everything was Gucci. Like Michael wasn't out here fighting for his life. Tabloids stayed on him to the day he was gone. To this day now. Okay, he's still in the news. I can't imagine why that was not in the film. And it wasn't just like abuse allegations. It was like all these weird rumors that they touched on in Moonwalker. Him in Elephant Man, and him sleeping in the cryo chambers, and you know, him bleaching on the skin was touched on real lightly, but it really You know, him having all these love triangles and relationships with Elizabeth Taylor and all these other people, like how that affected him mentally, his mental health. They just act like the only conflict that we need to have in a movie was Joe Jackson. Him cussing Tommy Mottola the fuck out. I would have loved to see it. Him walking around with the Nation of Islam, rolled up real deep. Oh, speaking of deep, him purposely having a deeper voice, talking voice than what he chose to use in public. We don't want to get into that. What about when he went to court in his pajamas and was jumping on top of cars? No, we can't talk about that. We're going to act like he didn't carry Emmanuel Lewis around him 24/7. Like, there's no way that there should not have been a mention of Emmanuel Lewis when Michael Jackson carried Emmanuel Lewis around like a Birkin, like a Kelly bag, if you will. When did he decide to up and start dressing like Napoleon? We don't want to talk about that. I'm going to show that process. Okay. We're not going to talk about his brothers getting on his damn nerves. Whole time. Flag gonna play. Whole time they was getting on his damn nerves. They was getting on his nerves on a tour bus. They was marrying each other's wives, making their kids be cousin siblings, trying to fight LaToya, having affairs with Paula Abdul. It was more to why he didn't want to be bothered with them. And that's good conflict that we should have seen in this movie. I've got plenty of more notes, but we'll be here all night. I would love to hear why he said you're a vegetable. I would love for them to really show how people were passing out and fainting around him left and right just at the sight. You really had to have stations around the stadiums for people just to fall out and paid all that money to see the tour and fall out. Even Kev on stage talked about how behind the scenes there was some type of weird lottery system for them to get the tickets for the Jackson 5 Victory Tour. You had to buy like 2-3 tickets, and you may have not still really had a ticket to go to the show. Very Spirit Airlines, ahead of his time. And Michael, the fans were so upset with Michael, he donated all his money to charity. We didn't want to show none of that conflict. So we just don't tell good stories when it comes to Michael Jackson. And now I know for sure why Janet Jackson was cutting up at that movie screening, complaining the whole time, because she is me and I'm her. Anyway, we can continue this in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought of Michael. I mean, it was fun. It definitely was no Ray. It was not like, it's just as far as like a biopic storytelling wise. I need to go find my VHS player so I can go watch The Jackson's American Dream. Moving on. Let's move on. Let's get into some of these breakups. Because who's still together at this point? Is anybody together at this point? Sidora and Ralph Pittman, nasty divorce update. Nasty. Apparently, Ralph then kicked Drew up out the house. Then got a court injunction to have her removed from the house. And Also, some text messages have come out that Drew Sidora was giving Ralph half her money, or he was asking her to give half of her money. And I'm just really trying to figure that out. Why would she be giving him half her money when he was making 4 times her income? 1, and 2, Jesus didn't already paid it all. Let me pull up this article for y'all. Like, okay. Let's see. I'm reading. This is on Yahoo. Can y'all see this? Yeah. It says, Real Housewife of Atlanta's Drew Sidora claims ex Ralph Pittman got half her paychecks for the show. Ain't no way, Joe. Is this why Erica Kirk was breathing hard? Because if she had just read this, I understand why she was over there breathing all hard, huffing and puffing. Because I too want to be on a what? Every new detail that emerges about Drew Sidora's divorce from Ralph Pittman, Yahoo Entertainment reports, is messier than the last. Earlier this month, a judge ordered the Real Housewives of Atlanta stars to move out of their marital home. She has until May 31st. And the court then awarded Ralpho and himself sole custody of their 2 kids. You don't want to be bothered with them kids. All of this is a play for power. But let's move on. Drew has argued that she can't afford to move out by that date. She said she could face homelessness. And to prove her point, she submitted text messages to the court showing recent conversations with Ralph. In the text, she claims he had been getting a major cut of her Real Housewife of Atlanta salary. And I just don't understand why. Maybe I'll keep reading. They'll tell me. TMZ obtained a series of alleged texts between Ralph and Drew, which appear to show the ex's recent conversations about finances. In one text from April 13th, 2026, Drew wrote to her ex, "I most definitely cannot afford $9,000 of household expenses at this time." She asked, "Are you going to pay for half of the groceries as well as half of the kids' expenses for the month?" And then Ralph replied, "Good morning. I believe this is very generous as you haven't contributed anything towards the home for a number of years." Ralph went on to warn her that if she didn't pay, she'd be in contempt of a court order. And then that's when Drew started to drop the tea about the Real Housewives of Atlanta paychecks. She told him, "Ralph, how can you say I haven't given you money toward the house in years? I've given you 50% of my money for Real Housewives, and all along you are getting paid directly from Bravo as well." I must take a break. I must take a break because what I've learned in my hiatus is that, when you feel your heart rates become elevated, you must pause. Pause and take a breath, child. Whatever do you mean? Whatever could you possibly mean that you were giving him half of your... So was he like trying to sweet talk you and say, "Oh, I'm on the show, so I deserve half because, our storylines or whatever"? Like, how did he get that money up out of you, Drew? How did he get access to your direct deposits, Drew? As a woman, you don't even tell no man how much you get paid. Ever. You always tell that man you get paid 30 to 60% less than what you actually do. That ain't none of his business. When he get paid, that's y'all business. Would you get paid? None of his business. What's not clicking? On this land? Real Housewives of Atlanta. You don't got nothing in there about Ralph. Well, what? What? Drew? Okay, let me see if I can find the strength. Where was I at, y'all? She added, I gave you 50%. About to go Eric Kirk. She added, I gave you 50% of my endorsement deals in my movies. Drew Sidora, is it crack? Is it crack? She continues, let's talk about how you took $300,000 out of my money I received personally on my personal injury settlement. Yes, Drew Sidora, let's talk about that. Who gave him the PIN number? And did he come across and do that transfer from your account to his account without your permission? Because if so, lock him up. Please tell me he stole your passwords to get access to your money. Please. We've been knowing about Drew Sidora since the game. Ain't nobody ever heard of Ralph Pittman egghead itself. What do you mean he's getting 50% of your movies, Drew? Drew, is you cool? You was from Chicago. You making everybody up in the city look bad. The whole time. Elsewhere in the alleged text, Drew asked Ralph about the status of their mortgage. She claimed they were $25,000 behind in payments. Ralph denied that and also brushed off her claims about facing homelessness. I'm about to charge my phone because in a minute, I'm going to take out my calculator. Because we're going to have to do some math. This is not adding up to me. Ralph denied that and brushed off her claims about facing homelessness. On April 14th, the day after the news dropped about Ralph's primary custody win, Drew texted him again, accusing him of trying to destroy her reputation. She wrote, "You have done the ultimate betrayal and tried to destroy me as their mom, defame my character, career, brand, and me as a human being." Time and time again. So let's just focus on what's best for the kids moving forward. Drew, beloved, hold on. Do you have any brothers? Drew? Because you're doing too much talking. And somewhere between taking full custody of some kids you pushed out, him never wanting to adopt that other son that he wrote a book about being his daddy. Taking half your checks from the movies and for the Housewives of Atlanta. It's too much talking and texting and typing that you're doing. Now, I understand you may be trying to create a paper trail for us to report on. But somewhere in there, it needs to be some Drew, I was asleep last night and you woke me up and you dropped the cast iron skillet on top of my head. And I'm reading through this report and I have yet to come across this. And so I am confusion. I can't, it couldn't be me. I mean, it could always be you and you should never say that it couldn't be you, but I'm just letting you know that if it was, it wouldn't read quite like this. I personally believe that I would be asking for donations to bail me out of jail. Personally. And I know how that does not make things better. I get it. But that doesn't change how the story would unfold. And the kids would have been removed for a reason. You get what I'm saying? And then the whole reason why he got awarded for primary custody, I do believe, is because he claims that the kids were late for school too many times during her care. But I'm willing to bet it was probably on the days that he was up in the house and she went off to film and work, and he had agreed to take care of it. And because he knew that it was technically on her time, he purposely did not get to them kids to school. I'm willing to bet. Let's get into Ralph's business a little bit more, because he's asking Drew for all this money, half of all the bills, while taking half of her money. And we have TMZ reporting on their household income. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Drew Sidora monthly income revealed in bitter divorce war. This is from TMZ. It says the Real Housewives of Atlanta star Drew Sidora's 5-figure monthly income was exposed as part of her ugly divorce battle. This, according to documents from her messy divorce. The court docs obtained by TMZ showed the Bravo star pulled an average of $12,066 per month in gross income, while Ralph Pittman, who reportedly works in technology, earns $71,524 a month in gross income. $71,524. And this is why I pulled out my calculator, because most Americans do not make $71,524 a year. This man is making $71,000. Let's pull out our calculators, people. $71,524 a month. And last time I checked, $71,524 is quite a bit more than the $12,000 or so that she's making a month. And then I think it's 12 months in a year. So I'm just going to take that number and I'm going to multiply it by 12. And that brings Ralph Pittman's yearly income to $858,000, $288 and probably some cent. $858,288. And this man is on somebody's phone line talking about, I think it's fair, more than fair enough for you to take care of half of the groceries and the mortgage and the kids' expenses. Mind you, half of that is coming from Drew Sidora's Real Housewives of Atlanta paycheck. Because they say he worked in technology, right? So sometimes I really get in my journalist bag. I won't even say journalist for real, but I get into the rabbit holes of the things. And so I really want to know where the hell Ralph Pittman worked, because I'm trying to figure out, hey, listen, hey, for a little bit of a referral link, I'm on your side. You don't leave the house. We know you work from home. You was working from the basement. You making $1 million as an employee. Drop the referral link, Ralph. So I did some digging. You're welcome. And I found Ralph's LinkedIn page. Hold on. Pull it up for y'all. Okay. And listen, you ain't heard it from me. I gotta sign in. You ain't heard it from me. But at this point, everybody needs to have been a chief marketing officer, a director, whatever you needed to do to get your foot in the door. You need to have done that at Spirit Airlines. But you ain't heard that from me. This is Ralph Pittman Jr., okay? Based in Atlanta, Georgia. Says he's a global client director and a technology change agent. He says he is the client director at Gartner with over 15 plus years of experience in business development, management, and sales. Listen, he's been in Gartner for 10 years and 5 months. He started there as the enterprise account executive. And after 4 years, he got a new role as client director. It's been there for 6.5 years. Okay. Gartner. So I'm just trying to figure this out. Stay with me. Stay with me. Because how much of that $858,000 is Gartner paying you, Ralph Pittman Jr.? So here's a role. Ralph said he's a client director. Here is a client director at Gartner. Now, mind you, this is not the same location. Okay. But to and however, the pay shouldn't be that much off. And it says here for this role, a reasonable estimate of the base salary range for this role is $158,000 to $199,000 a year. Mind you, this is just the base salary because employees will participate in either an annual bonus plan that's based on the company and individual performance or a role-based uncapped sales incentive plan. Do we think that he is making $600,000 in commission at Gartner? Ralph, what you got going on? I need to know. I actually just need to change my tone. This is not for the men people, this episode, but for you it could be. Because what exactly do you have going on that you are making $80,000 a month as an employee? And why do you need Sidora? Let me go back. What did TMZ say Sidora made a month? No word yet on if this is because was left after she gives him half of her check, or if this is what she actually just gets on her own and still is expected to give him half. I can't imagine that after so many seasons on Real Housewives of Atlanta and being one of the heavy hitters on a show, you know, with some of the biggest storylines, that they would only be giving her $12,066 in gross income. Which, mind you, again, we times that by 12. So she's only making $144,792 a month. A year, sorry. And he is making, he damn near makes her whole yearly salary in 2 months. Less than 2 months. I also saw, and this pissed me off, that he's not trying to take custody of the son that he wrote the book about, being a stepdaddy to. And of course, that son can't stay in the house with just him. He has to be moving around with Drew because, you know, that's her baby. Ralph is not the dad. And so now that child may be homeless as a result of this chaos the Ralph the chaos agent has going on. This whole situation is weird. I don't like it. And it's enough to make you don't ever get married to no man ever again. Because tell me you stingy and you selfish without telling me you stingy and you selfish and you thoughtless and you reckless. And you're inconsiderate and you're not compassionate. And you're ornery without telling me that you're all those things. I want y'all to dig into, listen, Ralph, if y'all hiring me, let me know. If that's what you're making up a Gardner needs to call me. I was the chief marketing officer at Spirit Airlines. And I understand that the things happen in the bankruptcy with the airlines that was beyond me. I had some great things on the horizon as the chief marketing officer of Spirit. But hey, you know the CMO always take the fall. Just ask boss. Moving on. Ain't that crazy? But you be giving a man that make all that money, and half of your money is insanity. I really hope, and it would make sense if 400,000 of that dollars, half of that went to Ralph. Like that would make sense to me. So he's coming up probably like an extra $200,000 in your income, Drew. So he's making about 200. I'm gonna give him 250 from Gardner. Then he coming up out of you from 200. So that's giving him a focus. I still don't know where the rest of your money is coming from, Ralph. We may have to do an audit. Bravo and Andy got a long history of housewife to prison pipeline. And it be for stuff like that. You think you're doing something real cute, and then now everybody is in your financials. Good luck with that. Moving on. And then y'all know, listen, if my math is wrong, let me know. That's just what my calculator has said. I don't mean my calculator is right. Maybe your calculator do something different. I'm off my screen. Thank you so much. Lori Harvey and Damson Idris then broke up again, and it seems like just yesterday, we was rooting for them. We was rooting for them to have spent the block back on each other, and I had just saw a video on them from paparazzi. You know, caught them all smooshed up, passionately kissing in Paris. I think it was in Paris, on somebody's rooftop in Paris. And he was like, okay, girl, I know that's right. And kiss on your man. And now, and see, this is probably why she's suing. But hear me out. Media takeout, which we know is 100% reputable all the time. Has this as an exclusive. Says that Lori Harvey is devastated over Damson Idris split and that he ghosted her. Allegedly, according to mediatakeout.com. The great Instagram purge, they write in a headline. Lori Harvey has nuked Damson Idris from her feed after ghosting claims. Can you guys see this? Yes. Okay. And someone named Avery Lene just hit follow on his whole circle. Media Takeout has been refreshing the following list all morning, which is crazy as hell. It is crazy as hell that y'all do that as a job, but go off. They say the digital drama is more intense than a paparazzi shots. After we broke the news that Damson Idris was spotted cozying up to fitness bombshell Avery Lene just weeks after his Paris reunion with Lori Harvey, the social media fallout has officially begun. So I guess this is the girl. Excuse me. Avery Lene. In the world of Hollywood's elite, and unfollow is basically a restraining order. Is it? And Lori just pulled the trigger. A restraining order needs to be a restraining order, and that's what that's what Drew needs to get on Ralph, and he took her money up out her accounts. Lori Harvey, the delete queen, strikes again. If you head over to Lori's Instagram page right now, it's like Damson Idris never existed. Sources tell Media Takeout, which is always so super duper reputable, so y'all take this with a grain of salt, that as soon as the photos of Damson and Avery hit the blogs, Lori went on a digital cleansing spree. Okay, then we got to go through the chat GPT right up. It says the unfollow. Lori has officially hit the unfollow button. She has purged every single trace of their 2026 rekindled romance, including the photos from the Paris Fashion Week. And then a close source to Lori tells us she also removed him from her close friends list on her stories. This quote says she's not just done, she's erasing the memory. Lori doesn't do staying friends when she feels disrespected. Allegedly, according to mediatakeout.com. Interestingly, as of this morning, April 20th, Damson Idris is still technically following Lori, whether he's just too busy with his new F1 ambassador duties to notice or he's trying to play it cool. The Snowfall star hasn't hit the button yet. However, he did delete his own most recent post that featured mystery shots of Lori's silhouettes. Okay. So they didn't broke up, child. Who is this new girl? I don't know. They say this is there's a debate going on about whether or not Lori and Avery ever really knew each other or hung out in the same circles. If so, people would consider that to be a violation of a girl's code. Girl, these hoes do not care. And that's part of the damn problem. All right. For her part, Lori Harvey says she's about to have so much fun suing y'all amid the Damson Idris split rumors. They say that Lori Harvey took to her Instagram story to write, "I hope y'all had so much fun creating false narratives about me for clickbait because I'm about to have so much fun suing y'all." So we don't know exactly what that means. Are you saying that there's somebody, girl, what you talking about? Are you saying y'all didn't break up and so they lying on you about the breakup? Are you saying what you saying? Who you suing and what you saying? What's the false narrative? I haven't seen anything negative on my end, but maybe she's just tired. Listen, it gets to a point. I overstand. Complex goes on to say it's unclear what false narratives Harvey is referring to, but it may be due to rumors she split once again from Damson Idris. Most recently, she was spotted kissing him during Paris Fashion Week. Okay. All right. It goes on to say that a week prior to them posting that kiss. Idris was spotted with this model. There they are, seen in LA, and that is what fueled the breakup rumors. I was rooting for them. I was. I also just kind of think that Lori don't care. Like, I don't know. If she didn't told us, she didn't told so many of them that she's not here for a long time. She's here for a good time. And she's not trying to settle down. Those were the reports, reportedly. So, while I was rooting for them, I feel like it's okay. I think Lori is enjoying dating for the most part. I don't know if she's, cooking meals, and I don't know if she's meeting parents. I don't know if she's getting boats named after her, the way some of the others who've been getting played with have. So, I know for one thing for sure, two things for certain, Lori Harvey will bounce the fuck back. And I'm rooting for you, sis. All right, let's get into the thick of it. Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord. Okay, give me strength. Let's get into this craziness. With Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson breakup drama. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. So, while we were sleeping, Meg posted on her Instagram story, out of the clear blue sky. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. We can read it together. All right. Meg took to her Instagram story to say, hold on, that was not the Instagram story. I think it's in here though. Here it is. Cheating had me around your whole family playing house. Got cold feet. Holding you down through all your horrible, all caps, mood swings. And I mean all capital letters because I know the caps mean something different to y'all. Holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. And now you don't know if you can be monogamous. Bitch, I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all. When I tell you this got everybody activated in the heat of the night, what the fuck? And what a beautiful couple Meg makes with anybody. Look at this. Look at this. She didn't put out an official statement that read, I've made the decision to end my relationship with Klay. Trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship. And when those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. Klay Thompson, you in trouble, boo. It's not safe for you out here. Okay? When I tell you we have had enough, this is the third breakup. 1, 2, 3. Third breakup story. This is the damn third breakup story that I didn't report it on. I ain't got nothing but breakup stories to report on. Because the men folk are not okay. They are not okay. And the problem is they think wasting your time and playing with your mind is funny and it's cute. Is Snap canceled? Because I feel like they need to start showing Snap in schools. Everybody is not for play. Okay? Everybody not for play. Now, because this is what I know. The girls are mad. And it's important to have your eye on the correct targets. You know what I mean? I have found that them same Etsy witches that cleared out, packed up that community college dropout, the racist one, you know who I'm talking about. We don't need to say his name. They on Klay's ass. And here I'm gonna share. This was the talk. So this says, I'm currently talking to my friends on the other side, and the Etsy wishes have been called. Klay Thompson, you're done. I hope Klay Thompson's bum ass has the time. Hold on. Let me go back. I got a delay. Has the time of his life fending off thousands of hexes from Etsy witches. Somebody asked, do any of you practice witchcraft? I need Klay Thompson to wake up with deer legs by tomorrow morning. You just got people wishing any old thing over you. Klay Thompson, your Achilles tendons will begin to ache in 3 days. No, it's not funny. Somebody said, just paid an Etsy witch. Klay Alexander Thompson, you will be dealt with. I pray that it ain't too many more Klay Alexander Thompsons that can be confused or confuddled with. I feel like maybe y'all should have got the leg of toad, a strand of hair, double toilet trouble. I don't know how y'all gonna make sure you don't get an innocent person mixed up in this. But Klay, palm colored Klay, your ass is grass. Your ass is grass. I can't believe you sat up here and played in this girl's face like this. I'm gonna find y'all some more. Funny stuff that I came across. Hold on. Because it ain't been nothing but jokes. But this is serious. We are pissed. All of the women. Got me mad at my husband. All of the women are pissed. Somebody said to PBS that the PBS logo looks like Klay Thompson. They even went out of their way to draw your hairline and beard, Klay. Look at it. They said this you. Okay? You're the joke of the town. They're even clowning you on Sesame Street. Do you understand? Look at this. PBS is commenting on it. Look at this. Y'all know we gonna call Klay PBS for the rest of eternity, right? Here go Brittany forever. PBS the end of the chat. Then called this lady to the principal's office for teasing you, and rightfully so. Somebody must do it. Somebody must make a fool of you the way you made a fool of our good sis Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Pete, you plan on Megan Pete's time? Look at this. Nothing but joke. Look at PBS. Look at PBS. Scared to enter the chat. Came in. Just trying to have a lovely day in the Sesame Street neighborhood. Nobody's letting this go. In all seriousness, Klay, let's take a look at your cheating history. Because this is listen, I'm not even going to keep you. I don't know nothing about you. I've been told, listen, I had to ask my husband when Meg started bringing you around, who is this man? Who is this palm of hearts colored man that Meg is with? What do you know about him? Okay. And I was told something about sports ball. When my husband starts talking about sports ball, I have selective hearing. I can't hear too good for too long when he's talking about the sports. Some about Mario Brothers, Splash Brothers, Super 3. I don't know. Okay. I knew you as Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend. And now I know you as PBS. That's what I know you as. And apparently you have a long storied history of cheating. Is what I'm now hearing. So here we go. The people are saying, Klay, this you cheated on Meg. You cheated on our good sis Coco Jones. You cheated on our other good sis Lori Herrera. You cheated on Kristen Evangeline. You cheated on Abigail Ratchford. And you cheated on someone named Sharice Sandra. Use a hoe. Oh, use a hoe. You know that you's a hoe. Ho. But you know, I don't ever just I do a little bit more digging. So I just try to figure out, is this true? Because, you know, people just write any old thing. I never, listen, let me tell you this right here. Coco Jones ain't never claimed you. I never heard that. Page 6 is reporting Klay Thompson's dating history, Megan Thee Stallion, Coco Jones, and more. Okay. This stupid reporter says Klay Thompson has been winning on and off the court. I think not. The Dallas Maverick star has dated a plethora of A-list beauties over the years, including rapper Megan Thee Stallion and actress Laura Herrera. Y'all, I gotta feed my love. In April of 2026, the Sweetest Pie MC blasted Thompson for allegedly cheating on her and getting cold feet. So then they have your roster here. They said you allegedly dated an influencer named Hannah Stocking from 2014 to 2015. They say y'all split when she accused you of cheating on her and wrote, what is this, Twitter? X, perchance, when you catch your man naked in bed with a groupie, LOL at Klay Thompson. Okay, she tweeted and deleted it per the Daily Mail. Klay, this you? She says, I guess he really wanted that tag to get his numbers up. I told him I'd at him if he kept harassing me. When you catch a man naked in bed with a groupie, LOL Klay Thompson. Now, for those of you who are not watching but are listening, this is a white woman. Why does this matter? I will circle back this way later. Okay. Then there's Laura Herrera, who was also in the Michael movie. She played Suzanne DePass. Thompson and Herrera began dating in 2018. The Spider-Man Homecoming actress was frequently seen courtside when an athlete played for the Golden State Warriors. Herrera even traveled with Thompson during his recovery when he tore his little raggedy ACL during Game 6 of the NBA Finals in 2019. Sports ball. Okay. Couple made their red carpet debut at the Vanity Fair Oscar party. And later that year, things between Thompson and Herrera began to fizzle out. When a couple kept details about their romance private, they unfollowed each other on Instagram. And then additional rumors surfaced that Thompson allegedly cheated with when a woman posted a video claiming she and her friends spent time with him. She and her friends, plural. That woman said at the time in a video, put a finger down if you moved from Georgia to California and within the first month of living in California, your friend is going to go on a date. But instead of going on a date, the guy asked her if she's cool with going on a group thing and asked her if she had any girls that she could bring because there's going to be a bunch of boys there. Train orgies? What is this? During the meetup, a number of basketball players are said to be present. One of them being a very famous basketball player, the women claimed. Everybody's drinking, having a good time, and then you all take Ubers to his mansion. So at this point, I believe you're alluding to this basketball player being Klay, otherwise he wouldn't be here, right? Allegedly. And you're all swimming in your clothes and a lot of things are happening at that house and you have no clue who this person is, so you're not even starstruck. You and me both, child. Okay? Just now learned his face. And then you realize who this person is. He's one of the most famous basketball players currently in the United States. Because one thing a groupie is going to do is be proud of her groupie proclivity. Okay, so this is Isa Gonzalez, and this is talking about how Klay and her got photographed sneaking off having some type of dinner together at a restaurant, and that they had a romance that quickly fizzled when she spotted Klay at a Dodgers game with Laura Herrera, who we talked about earlier, 2 months later. So some overlap there. Then there's Coco Jones. It said that Klay and Coco linked up in 2021. Coco kept that way on the low. Okay, you damn near was a slicky link. I think I need to take a nap. Sneaky link. There it goes. I kept saying sneaky link. And then it was reported that they broke up in 2023. So they actually dated for a couple of years from 2021 to 2023. All right. And then after that, it was Meg Thee Stallion. And then let me know they are now on the outs. So essentially, basically, it's been reported that for the last 6 girlfriends that we knew, hold on, let me do my maths. We got Meg, that's 1. And we've got Coco is 2. And then we've got Isa's 3. And then we got Laura Herrera, that's 4. And then we have reports from this Hannah Stocking lady, that's 5. So out of the 5 ladies that he just was reported to be dating. He allegedly cheated on 4 of these women. 4 out of 5. Okay. Cool. So you're not new to this. You're true to this. You are a serial cheater. Here's the thing. Long story short, Klay Thompson is a hoe. Okay. Klay Thompson is ran through. And all the guys are now coming out and supporting him. They think this is cute. They're celebrating him. They're high-fiving him. Because a hoe recognizes a hoe. And what you're doing is peak hoe activity. Okay. Meanwhile, you have upset, and this is where we got activated. Like, forget everything else. This is where I really was like, oh, let me press record so that I can get into your ass. Everybody knows that Megan Thee Stallion was busy working. Okay. And she had a cute little gig as the Zitler on Moulin Rouge. All right. And you made her so upset that she up and quit. She quit the run of her performances on Moulin Rouge. Okay. This is Deadline reporting. Moulin Rouge standby Patrick Clayton is going to step in for early exiting Megan Thee Stallion. Okay. This article really is talking more so about him, but they say that he's going to begin his run as the Zitler starting on May 2nd through May 17th, because as announced this week, Megan Thee Stallion plays her final performance tonight. You didn't stress my girl out so bad. She quit a paying gig. She says, unfortunately, my last performance on Moulin Rouge, the musical, will be May 1st. She said in a statement, it's been such an honor to be part of Moulin Rouge, and I've met so many amazing people in this theater. Y'all work so hard, and I have so much respect for the dedication, the stamina, the work ethic, the time, and the effort y'all put into the work. Every single person at the Moulin Rouge has inspired me. And hold on, I lost what I was saying. Every single person at the Moulin Rouge has inspired me to go harder as an entertainer, and I'm grateful for the cast and the crew that have made this experience so meaningful. Y'all are really some of the kindest human beings that I've met. All the hotties that showed up or plan to attend, thank you for supporting me during this incredible journey. So now you're messing up her bag, and you messing up her fans' bags that may have purchased a ticket to see this show very specifically and particularly just to see her and support her. It goes on to say that she did not elaborate on a reason for the early departure, but I let's take an educated guess. Let us all, for one, put on our thinking caps. Perhaps the reason that Meg had to step away was because you had her over here playing house like this. Taking family portraits with you, your mama, and your daddy. A girl that has lost both of her parents, an only child, I believe. So no immediate living family members. You went out of your way to bring her into your family, to disrespect her like this. Because that was unnecessary. If you just wanted to have a little fling, and do what she wanted to do, you never needed to introduce her to your parents. The fuck? And you were playing house. We saw the meals, Klay, that she was cooking not only for your big PBS looking self, but for your whole family. Just a household of athletes. Are you kidding me? So now you messing with not now you messing with look at her. I'm about to pull up the video. Look at this. This is her, I think, performance like right after she everybody hold on. What was going on with Klay?
We love you! We love you,
She's
Fred!
on stage.
We love you!
At the Moulin Rouge. This is probably her last performance.
Yeah!
Clearly emotional.
Happy!
And now we know that it was so much for her that she could not carry the emotional weight, the devastation, and continue working because you already are dealing with somebody that has PTSD. Not just from losing her mom, who was her manager and her best friend, and losing her father, but being shot and constantly being bullied by you incels online. It gets to a point. And this is about the point where I have some notes. Okay. First things first, Megan Thee Stallion. This is for you, boo. I need you to contact Mariah Carey. I need you to contact Mariah Carey immediately because need I remind the girls that Mariah Carey once sued a man for wasting her damn time and won. Mariah Carey, you need to have at this point call a town hall. We all need your attorney's number. We need the setup because it's a lot of listen. This girl catered Thanksgiving dinner. Have y'all ever paid to have Thanksgiving dinner catered for some NBA athletes? Do you know how much food that is? Do you know how much time that takes? And this is somebody that has a whole flourishing career. Look at this.
My dressing ready. I do not call it
Ain't no
stuffing
way.
bag because this is dressing. This is a southern thing. I was really nervous because I was like, dang, I'm really finna cook for my man and his whole family. I hope they love this because I got to show them that I really love their son. This is how all my sides came out. This is how my turkey came out. Mr. Thompson definitely said 10 out of 10. I could easily have on my own restaurant, but I didn't want to record him saying
That's turkey.
I was trying to be respectful.
Green.
Okay, so then this is Klay. He is so ready to eat. He is tired of hearing me talk. I said, babe, what you thankful for? He said, girl, get to that table. I don't want to hear you no more. This is my plate. This is Klay plate, and he's ready to get to the business, babe. This is Ferris. He already know how I do, so he already knew food was 10 out of 10. Cool, baby. This one, the itis kicked in. 10 out of 10. Damn, as you can see, it was good.
Talk about wasting somebody's damn time, energy, and money. Where are all the Esquires at? Please leave. If you are an attorney at law, if you are Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, now is the time. It's time to sue these men for wasting our time. Okay? Loss of income due to you causing traumatic stress, the loss of motivation, the public humiliation, all of the defamation that's going on her name and people calling her everything but a child of God. She's now wife material because of her ex relationships. When this man kept a journal, a dear diary, a Clarissa explains it all about his whole activities. Sue this man. Sue him. The depression. You putting my girl's mental health at risk and her physical health at risk because you just outside in these streets laying it low and spreading it wide. And you just overall wasted her time. Sue him, Megan. You got Rock Nation right there. Sue him. Because now we done lost income. Now you're affecting the bag. You men will learn when you lose something economically. Okay? Y'all thought the way to get around not taking no losses was to not get married, and you don't want to give up half, and you don't want to pay no alimony, and you want to be raggedy daggedy for the rest of your life, and thought that was gonna be your loophole. We gonna start suing you. And it's going to take a few more Mariah type cases for y'all to get the damn point. And now it's all full circle. Is this why Lori Harvey wants to sue y'all hoes too? Because she might have a lawsuit on her case. Damson, was this you too? Furthermore, I just want to be very clear. Call this what this is. Cheating is abuse. This is a thing. Y'all always try to words mean things. This is not a laughing matter. You're cheating on someone completely changes their entire brain chemistry. Okay? Now you all wired for the FBI. Now you on high alert every time you out about this person. Now your left eye gets to twitching. Now you second guessing everything that's going on. Now you live in the middle of a gaslit fire. That is abuse. That is abuse, control, manipulation, and false advertisement. Ho, I'm tired of you. Okay, I'm tired of you dudes. We about to start suing, and if we can get like a little a fund going around, because it's giving class action at this point. Last note, and I want y'all to be so for real about this. It's time to go back to being mean to these men. Okay, nice, like everybody, one band, one sound. I don't care if it's your husband. I don't care if it's your daddy, your brother. Time to be mean to all these men until they can start being publicly worth a grain of salt. Okay, so they can step up on their mic and condemn Klay's actions and other men who do this type of stuff actions. Start being mean. I don't know how you gonna eat. I don't know. You don't know, and I don't know. I won't be cooking. Meg, the next man you get, you better act like you don't know how to boil water. Do you hear me? You do not know how to boil water. You don't love me like I sure don't. Go back to telling these men, looking them in the eyes. And when they say I love you, you just hit them with, okay. Huh? You're not being mean enough. Stop being nice to these men because these men are not being nice to us. Go back to scowling at these niggas. Are you kidding me? Smile. You have such a beautiful smile. No. Okay? Growl at them. Okay? Mace them if you must. Bugs and drugs. Bugs and drugs. Bugs and drugs. That's what the men folk are giving. Bugs and drugs. Michael Jackson was trying to tell us way back in the 80s. All right? Meg, sue him. Do you hear me? Sue him. And make sure that it goes to trial and that we can all tune in on the news because they need to be able to bear witness. Go back to being crazy. Women, we used to be crazy. go back to being crazy. Y'all don't got sugar no more? Sugar in tanks will prevent the type of shit that we going through right now. Sometimes you don't have to move that far away from what your grandmama and your aunties done taught you. Yeah. Moving on. Well, listen. Hey, I already told y'all this next story is not really any of my foundational Black American business, but I'll tell y'all about it anyway. Okay. Hold on. All right. It's none of my business. All right. This lady just made it clear that she's on that other side. She's for the other team. She over there. She probably the one that told Erica Kirk to go over there and be huffing and puffing and the mic all crazy like that. But allegedly, Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty are stirring up divorce rumors, and it's come about in the most on-brand Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty type of way. And that is Megan's Law. Got an update, and people caught the update and read the documents and saw that he's no longer living in the same household as her. Matter of fact, he's not even living in the same state. Okay, so again, here, I'm gonna pull this up for y'all. I told y'all it's not my business, so, you know, do what you want with that. But this is Media Takeout. It says, exclusive Nicki Minaj separates from husband. Legal docs show that the Barb is single. Kenneth Petty moves out of Nicki's mansion and back to Queens. They report to have legal proof. And let's see. No. I mean, I just don't care. So here you go. They have a screenshot here with the receipt of the Division of Criminal Justice Services, the sex offending industry. The crimes that you're about to hear are heinous, part of the Sexual Victims Unit, Criminal Justice Unit. But I wish I knew. Remember when Zendaya was like, I know the intro, but anyway, it's given very Olivia Benson over here. So we have Kenneth Petty. We have his picture here. This was last updated. Photo was taken April 6th, 2025. Okay. It says that his primary residence is now listed as somewhere in Jamaica, New York. Okay. This report goes on to say, in the United States, individuals convicted of sexual offenses are legally mandated to keep their residence updated on a public registry. Okay. Failure to do so can result in immediate jail time. All right. Now, Media Takeout, you do with that what you want. They say they performed a deep dive into the national registries this morning on April 27th, and the findings are undeniable. It says that the California status is that Kenneth Petty is no longer registered at the Hidden Hills, Calabasas address that he shared with Nicki. And then as of last week, his New York status is now officially registered on the New York State Offender Registry. And his current primary address is showing listed as a multifamily home in South Jamaica, Queens, which is what they point out, the same neighborhood that him and Nicki met when they were teenagers. So this is, again, Megan's Law in California, showing that he's no longer registered on the California sex offenders list. Okay. They go on and talk about other rumors, babies and other stuff, and divorce, whatnot, what have you. I don't care. Yeah. So listen, do with that what y'all will. Let's move on. Everybody should just have the day that you deserve. I think everybody should have the day that you deserve. And I find it quite ironic that in my opinion, based upon information and belief that I've seen, I felt like you were doing a lot of this for show button and raccooning around for Kenneth Petty. It's no excuse. You showed everybody that you had some signs that you weren't all the way well without that, but that definitely was the peak of everybody no longer having a question mark about what's going on. We knew for facts some was very wrong with your judgment, skills, and things of that nature. So anyway, child, I'm gonna get them off the screen. Let's move on to what we have next. What do we have next? I think we're gonna go into all right. Next up, this story just tickles me. Did y'all see this masterpiece theater showing of the White House Correspondents Dinner shooting? Listen, y'all voted this man in, and every day, I tell you, every day that he spent in office has been one that has set back humankind, mankind, billions of damn years. Okay? Let me find this article, child. Now keep in mind, while I look this up, the point of the White House Correspondents Dinner, right? Is to honor the press. Okay? It's an annual black tie event. It's usually held in Washington, D.C. at the White House. It's supposed to celebrate the press, journalism, the First Amendment, all the things that this administration don't know nothing about. Okay? This is the same administration that has actively tried to blacklist credible members of the press who do not usually give favorable coverage, even when they're just pretty, what do you call it? Neutral. He's this antichrist in chief in office. Is typically shown berating journalists, especially if they're women, calling them dumb, telling them they're asking him stupid questions, and telling them that the organizations that they work with, like AP, Associated Press, are not legitimate. So to think that there was because I don't even think he went to his last term, that he even go to the attend this event. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. So this was 1000% all a scheme that Todd set up. Okay. Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it now. It says that this is the Antichrist in office. First time even attending the White House Correspondents Dinner during his term as an Antichrist in office. And lo and behold, you get there and they shooting up the place. They shooting up the place. And mind you, this comes on the heels of you sitting up there being told by the judge that you can't have no damn ballroom. And you sitting up here trying to justify paying the taxpayers' money for some stupid, gaudy, gold-plated ballroom, which is a secret undercover bunker at the bottom so you can hide your little friends there for when you go over here and you start war and catastrophe for the rest of the world. That's just based upon information and belief for me, based on what I've seen, my two and two that I put together, allegedly. Now you're using this moment to justify. Yeah, I was right. See, I told y'all we needed that ballroom. Let's look at this. Let me go pull this article up. I've got the article here from the Associated Press. A man was charged with attempted assassination of Trump in the White House Correspondents Dinner shooting. The man who authorities say tried to storm the White House Correspondents Association dinner with guns and knives, was charged Monday with attempted assassination of the Antichrist in charge, Donald Trump, as federal authorities suggested an attack that disrupted one of Washington's glitziest events that's been planned for the last several weeks. I'm just trying to figure out how he got in. He's got all these attempts and ain't nobody went to practice. Practice is very important. Cole Thomas Allen appeared in court to face federal charges after a chaotic encounter Saturday that resulted in shots being fired. Y'all's president was hurried off the stage unharmed. Guests were ducking for cover, barely, from what I saw. Underneath their tables, he was ordered to remain jailed pending additional court hearings and faces up to life in prison if convicted of the assassination account alone. They are alleging that Allen on April 6th reserved a room for himself at the hotel, the Washington Hotel, where the event will be held weeks later. And under its typical tight security, he traveled by train from California, checking himself into the Washington Hilton one day before the dinner room. And I have a question. This man went and stayed at the Hilton. It's got to be a pretty fancy Hilton if it's nice enough for them to host the White House Correspondents Dinner in. And y'all like my picture of y'all any Christ chart. I told y'all that's the picture I'll be using. Anyway, listen. I believe this man, they said this man was on some type of teacher's salary. Wasn't he a teacher? Well, how many teachers y'all know can afford to drive across country and stay up at the Hilton for several weeks, including during the time that the White House Correspondents Dinners happened? Cap number one. Cap number two, I know for a fact that if you are booked at a hotel, it doesn't even matter if you had like a trip planned, a long stay already planned, and you have been staying there. They will tell all their guests, we are ending your reservation for X date due to a major event that we've already previously planned. So sorry for your inconvenience. Here you go. They're not going to let you just stay up in their hotel when everybody in a daggone succession line is coming up there. That's cap number two. It's not possible. It's simply not possible. It's super duper improbable. Let's move on. Or let's continue. All right. Where was that at? Okay, so they say, hold on. So he traveled by train cross country from California to check himself into the Washington Hilton one day before the dinner with the room reserved for the weekend. There's no way that the Hilton did not block that those reservation dates out. But okay. The dinner had barely begun when officials say the 31-year-old Torrance, California man tried to race past a security barricade near the cavernous ballroom, holding hundreds of journalists and their guests, prompting an exchange of gunfire with Secret Service agents tasked with safeguarding the event. They say Allen carried with him a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. Ain't nobody see him with that? At the hotel check-in? The day before he checked in, when the president was going to be there? Cool. Sidebar. And let me tell you how the cap number three. Hold on. Because they just be lying. Hold on. Let me find out where y'all at. Okay, hold on. Listen to me. Lean in. Listen. Y'all know I live in Chicago. When Barack Obama would come home, or Michelle would come home, or the kids would come home, because, their house was still in Chicago. Whenever they would come back home, even if they just wanted to go to their house to check the mail, couldn't nobody get on the block. It did not matter that you lived on the block. It did not matter that you were hungry and you were having food delivered, Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber delivered to your house. None of that mattered. None of that mattered at all. They would not let you on the block. They had a Secret Service had a checklist. They checked your ID. They made sure that you were a resident there. And it was super barricaded. But you mean to tell me this well-established annual event, planned out, I would say a year in advance, if not months, it's going to happen. And nobody on security detail at the hotel in Secret Service had a coordinated clearing up of every guest that's checked in, running their background checks, making sure nothing's on them suspicious when they checked in. And if they weren't on the list, moved up out of there. Cap 3, flag on a play. Everybody is playing games with logical thinking, reasoning thinking people. Okay, I would have needed more to the story. I thought when I first started this story that where they were going to go was he got there about a month ahead of time, and he was already staying up there at the hotel like he was Zach and Cody or something, or that he was hiding in the ducks somewhere. Like, give me something. Don't tell me he checked in the day before and I'm supposed to roll with that. All right, so apparently there is some type of message that he's left, child, because everybody that's about to go do an assassination attempt leaves their evil scheme and plan in their Gmail account, and I guess. But in the message, a copy of which was included, Allen referred to himself as a friendly federal assassin. Okay. It said the rambling text moves between confusion, grievance, and farewell, with Allen apologizing to family members, coworkers, and even strangers he feared could be caught in the violence, at the same time seeking to explain the attack. There's just no way. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Records reveal that Allen is a highly educated tutor and an amateur video game developer. Social media profile for the man with the same name in the photo appears to match the suspect. Says that he worked part-time for the last 6 years at a company that offers admissions counseling and test preparation services to aspiring college students. He ain't got no money to be driving or hiding out at the Hilton White House dinner. He would not have been let in. I want to repeat, he would not have been let in if this was real life. All right. Let's see if there's anything else in here important. They're talking about his background. He has a mechanical engineering bachelor's degree from the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena. The small university is academically prestigious with a very low acceptance rate. He has also listed his involvement there in a campus group that battled with Nerf guns and Christian Student Fellowship. Let me tell you something. This does not meet the profile. This does not meet the profile of someone who was just going to snap. Hold on, me missed it. I see. They say he gave $25 to a Democratic Party political action committee in support for Kamala Harris. Cool. It's not adding up for me. Is it adding up for y'all? It's just absolutely, positively not adding up for me. I'm not seeing it. I'm not following. Let's see top notch. This is where it gets fun for me. Let's see top notch security of the world, Craig, live and in action at this time. Look at this. This is live footage from behind the scenes after shots were fired.
Everybody stay down, stay down. We got one down. In there.
Listen, the whole thing was coordinated buffoonery. It was like watching the Three Stooges live in action. You know what I mean? It's incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid. Everybody's confused. They don't know where shots going. Why is the cameraman just still allowed to just sit up here and record? I don't care that it was a press event. We have a live shooter. We've got all these agents in action running around with all type of guns, all type of ammunition. And the reporter is free. The reporters that the president don't even normally like and give free reign to ask him questions are being allowed to record this and follow agents around as they pursue a criminal that has made an assassination attempt with everybody in succession for the line of power. Matter of fact, let me just show you how ridiculous this. Listen. Hold on. Because it gets. Listen to me. I can't make this up. Look at them sweeping off J.D. Vance before they took Trump. I see that. I mean, they got JD up out of there. They got him up out of there. They just stood around like you need some more time? Look at him. Get up and yank him. You ever been yanked before? They sit up there, they yanked. They yanked. And then look at this girl right here. Child, they just left her behind. But listen, they yanked JD up out of there. Yoked him up. And then just went over there by trying. He looked like he's still trying to find a piece of bacon to eat. Okay? Look at this. It's crazy. Here. There was more. Look at this man right here. Everybody's ducked. Everybody is running from cover. And this man is still feeding his face. Unbothered. It's almost like they told him, listen, around 6 p.m., that's when we about to do the scene. Okay? So get into your method acting. Have y'all ever done murder mystery dinner? You're all supposed to participate. You're all supposed to participate for the murder. And then solve the mystery and sit there and eat. Masterpiece Theater. Somebody interviewed him later, and he was like, "Listen, one, I don't do germs, so I'm not getting on the floor and getting dirty. And two, I wanted to see the show." You know what? I too like Murder Mystery Dinner. I love Masterpiece Theater. I love a whodunit. I love being up in a game of Clue. Okay? That's the kind of reaction you have when you know that you are inside of an escape room. Huh? Not when you really think there is any chance at all of danger. No word yet on if this two-time assassination of the president, including the untimely death of community college dropout Charlie Kirk, will lead to any common sense gun law advocacy. Also, no word yet on them releasing the Trumpstein files. In conclusion, if you ain't see him instinctively clutch his ear, shots fired, check his ear, it's not real. Moving on. All right, you guys, let's get into some quick notes. Quick notes. Okay, I've got a few quick notes for y'all. Real quick, there was a wildlife game hunter who recently got stumped the yard, okay, by an elephant herd. Apparently this man, let me find his name, because you know what? I ain't gonna keep you. I didn't care. I was so happy for the squad. Hold on. What is this man's name? I'm gonna find it for you. A wildlife big game hunter by the name of Ernie Docio. Okay, 75-year-old white man from Lodi, California, was over there thinking he was about to have the time of his life. Going to hunt and kill for sport a species of antelope that were minding their damn business. Oh, but no, we had another thing coming. Because hiding over there behind the bushes at night that he could not see was a herd of elephants, okay? A herd, boo. That's not one, like that one lady got stumped out. But a whole herd of elephants said, you know what? We sense danger and we need to make things right. And they got the stump in the yard on him. Ernie Ducio is no longer with us. Good riddance. Hope you have the day you deserve in hell. To those elephants. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. I love the elephant stumping the people out stories. One of my favorite stories to review like that is when the elephant went and found that lady. I don't know what that lady had did, but she ain't never did it again because he traveled to her funeral and stumped her out after he had already stumped her. Okay, what's next? What's next on my oh god, here. Y'all, listen, Ray J is not okay. I get it. Water is wet, but let me tell you what happened. He went over there on the Cam Newton show, fresh off of getting his ass beat by Sammy, who beat him up and posted about whooping his ass. And then Ray J went the next day or so over to the Cam Newton show and let everybody know that he got his ass whooped. He also let everybody know that, he slept with tens of thousands of women. Tens of thousands of women. Proudly. He then proceeded to call Kim Kardashian hoe. Which okay. And, drudged up this lawsuit they have against him and them stealing from now. I don't like that. Them stealing from Brandy and his mama's credit cards before they were famous and running up the credit card bill. And, he just had a lot of feelings. He's got a lot of feelings and he's doing a lot of talking to Cam Newton. He needs to be talking to a therapist. And I'm talking about a real certified, credentialed, licensed therapist. Not a life coach. Not one with an honorary doctorate degree from a now defunct college that was uncredited. But those are the type of people that I would like him to see and be on the couch with. Licensed therapists. No word yet on how he's doing with the bleeding of his eyes thing. You come around me. I see you one time with blood pouring from your eyes. We don't need to speak or engage again. Po Brandy. Last but not least, and listen, this is so critical. Beyoncé is coming. Okay? But if you are a Beehive member, now remind you that I am the Chicago chapter Beehive founder, sitting president, self-appointed since 97. You just got to trust me on this. Prince Beyoncé, with all this purple, it's coming. Okay? By the time y'all see this, Met Gala probably would have ever happened already. Y'all know I think she's one of the chairs of the Met Gala this year or doing something important as part of the Met Gala experience. And she's about to pop out. We actually haven't seen Beyonce at the Met Gala in many, many years. So I expect her to be dressed like Prince, Tina Turner, Michael Jackson. Prince Beyoncé is coming. And this album, listen, I just feel like she about to press the button. So stay on your refresh. And what solidifies this for me is her publicist Yvette denying everything. And everybody know when she gets to denying stuff, it's true. At this point. Whenever Yvette tells you there's absolutely not going to be a Christmas special with Beyonce performing for the sports ball team and you know, her announcing her tour later. That's not happening. And then 5 minutes later, that's exactly what happened. Okay, so now people are putting out there. We know that this Beyonce album is ready, and we about to expect to hear it any day, and that she's about to go on tour. Soon after that, and here coming back. If you ain't heard from me, it ain't happening. But here's the thing: we may not have all the particulars accurate, but we know the Hive knows that Prince Beyonce is coming. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see her give us her best blow. She finna be deep in her blow bag for this. Yeah. It's finna be epic. She keeps dropping all these purple pictures. First, it was this look right here on the anniversary of Lemonade, and then now her stylists and people she's worked with are releasing these behind-the-scenes photos of her wearing a purple suit with her mom for the cover of that book. The timing of it all is just giving, be on your refresh, and don't be shocked when this becomes a Beyonce podcast. Okay? Cool. Let's go on to my closing notes. All right, so closing notes. You're gonna look out for Beyonce. I know she's coming, but this is important. I want to talk about Emma Grede real quick, and this very out of touch advice that she is giving people about how to advance in a workplace. So she recently went on somebody's podcast. I don't even know which one, child. I kind of don't care. And she said on this podcast that working from home is career suicide. And she went on to say, we only talk about the upside of working from home. Okay. She went on to kind of talk about, I'm reading this from the Business Insider now at this point. She went on to talk about, how she got on by doing unpaid internships, which is a privilege to be able to do an unpaid internship. And she also started talking about how working from home is contributing to the decline in birth rates, marriage rates, and the loneliness epidemic. Okay, because people got to be on a meetings, on a Zoom, and so that's why we have all those things happening. Now, mind you, I don't keep up with this lady, but to my understanding, this is a woman who married her boss. No, and then her boss is the one that in turn put her in a position by investing in her companies. Correct? Y'all can let me know in the comments. Actually, don't bother. I don't care. Either way, listen, the girls are on a tizzy. Everybody is taking, there's a lot of people taking both sides, attacking and defending her and what she has to say. Here's the thing, and let's lean in because this is important. Listen, I love mentoring people. I've mentored people inside of a corporate environment, and I've continued to mentor people as an entrepreneur in whatever their pursuits are. And listen, I believe her when she advocates for visibility and saying that visibility is important. I believe that as well. But I do not agree that you can't do that from home. Okay? Because let's cut the shit. The real visibility that happens inside of a workplace and the real influence that happens at these jobs is in your ability to build relationships and to network and to have people advocate for you. And most of that is going to happen from what you're doing offline, off the clock. How you're showing up at work events and you know, whatever, building friendships with people, hanging out with them, listen, outside of work. You know, that's where that comes in. It's never necessarily just because you've done exceptionally well and clocked in for the town hall. That's not how it works. I also want to remind you that now is really not the damn time. Okay? Because most people are not making a living wage in the United States to begin with. So even the job that they may be vying to climb the ladder for is still not going to cover the cost of living, the cost of a family, getting higher education and being able to pay off that debt with that job. The cost of healthcare insurance is damn near your mortgage these days, or somebody's rent. The cost of gas and groceries, paying for parking at your job, having a nice wardrobe to wear these clothes every day at work, paying for lunch in these restaurants every day when you're at work, dry cleaning, childcare. It is expensive to have to commute into a workplace. Okay? So I feel it's so super disingenuous to just make this a situation of people are lazy or people are introverted and are not sociable. There's real life expenses related to having to go into the office that jobs are not covering because they barely cover the cost to be alive. In that interview, she also went on to say that work-life balance is your problem. It isn't your employee's responsibility. And that's exactly why we not trying to work at none of these jobs with y'all. Okay? Working from home allows you to counter some of the very clear exploitation that's happening within corporate America. I don't think she's from over here in our corporate world, but I do believe that one corporate to another is quite literally the same. Okay. So until these companies start making a plan to eradicate all this exploitation, ain't nobody trying to be going and commuting into the office, and no one should be advocating against working from home. Mind you, it's only going to be so many positions available and upward mobility available in the first place. Like that's not always even an option for people. And what I believe tends to happen more times than not is that you get so focused on being dynamic, so focused on implementing processes that nobody asked you to implement, and so focused on fixing problems that nobody even asked you to do. And now that they know that it's in your wheelhouse to do, okay, you gonna find yourself in a situation where you gonna get assigned nonstop stress assignments. Now you're doing stuff outside of your business, your job description, and then you're gonna make it be your expectation, and they're not gonna pay you for it. Okay, because now they know you're capable of doing it, and so they're gonna bury you under all these additional responsibilities as needed. And you're going to be doing all the work that you should be doing at a higher wage for free. That's where that's going to lead you. It's going to be a thankless job where you're not getting valued monetarily. See how that's done? See how that's arranged? More than likely, these companies are not going to promote you. they're not really going to give you a meaningful raise. They're more willing to put you on a PIP, to be honest, just to avoid giving you the bonus that you should have gotten at the end of the year. Okay? So I would say be aware of both outcomes and give yourself a timeline. If you're really serious about your career and that company that you're with and you really want to grow, make sure you're keeping yourself accountable. I always tell people, take out a spreadsheet, take out your job description, put every task and requirement that's listed in that job description and dump it into that spreadsheet. Track how you're doing that work, how you're making progress alongside that work, and manage your manager. And when you're checking in with your manager or putting time on your manager's calendar, make sure that y'all are one band on one sound in agreement on how she agrees your performance is going on each one of those items. Okay? You track your own KPIs, your own metrics, your own goals. All right? And then you make sure the leadership knows it was you and the work that you're doing. And yes, you have to be visible and you have to, build relationships. But you got to make sure that you're doing this and everybody knows that you are doing it because you have a growth plan. And if they are in full support of it, you can't go in there and be tiptoeing around people and just think I'm going to do the work and they're going to notice me. And that's when they're going to ask me to be the CMO of Spirit Airlines. It's just not going to happen like that. All right. And then if along the way of you explicitly verbalizing that this is your plan, this is why you're working and moving the way that you're moving, and you see that they are not positioning you for growth, they're not giving you raving reviews or putting you up for promotion, and they're not giving you a timeline on when they expect that to happen, and you're being strung along and it's all cap. And you need to start working on an exit strategy. Because otherwise you're going to be in that same dead-end job on the chopping block, visibly working for free. That's what the visibility is going to get you. Emma Grede. All right. So no, Emma, it's a no for me. And then there's some other things that she did that we on her ass about, especially with this, is it Amico? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it was the makeup line that the black lady had. And she went to Emma as an early investor for this cosmetic line. And Emma, I don't know, she's bragging about how she didn't want to invest with her or didn't invest to her at that point. That lady was in Sephora and everybody, she was like a cult brand, but she couldn't scale. She didn't have the money to scale. And she ended up having to close down her operations. And now Emma has acquired her under one of these brands that she's got with the Kardashians. I don't know if it's Good American or one of the beauty brands or whatever. So I just thought that was a shitty move as well. Because put your money where your mouth is. Now I'm out of business and you want me to give you all the secret sauce. I mean, I guess on one end, it's real hard on here. So I'm glad that girl got something, very much something being directly deposited into her account. But it's such a shitty move. Because Black women don't need mentorship. I simply needed the funds. Same way that husband of yours gave you the funds to start your business. See how that works? Anywho, that's enough for her. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm back. I am going to listen. I'm gonna try to come back here next week because we're gonna have the Met Gala. We're gonna talk about the beautiful gowns, Beyoncé or a music video, or very much Prince say something for us. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other. You can follow me on everywhere Really follow me on Threads. It's lit over there at Chantel Chavon. And I will see y'all. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to me, wherever podcasts are being listened to, thank you so much. We're back. All right, y'all. Bye.